Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Rennie forecasts style change from England as SCG confirmed for July Test Series by Ian Payton April 5, 2022, 10.00 am Save login, register or subscribe to save articles for later. Share normal text size, larger text size, very large text size. He has vowed not to engage in mind games, but Wallabies coach Dave Rennie still managed a subtle jab in the direction of under-pressure rival Eddie Jones, questioning if the England coach will change the team's game style for the three-test match series in July. The dates and venues of the series were finally announced on Tuesday, with the three tests to be played in Perth, July 2, Brisbane, July 9, and Sydney, July 16. The third clash will see the Wallabies meet England at the Sydney Cricket Ground for the first time since 1975, when a young flanker called Ray Price helped the Wallabies to victory. Dave Rennie and Michael Hooper at the Wallabies camp. Credit, Getty. 2 Wallaroos tests were also announced ahead of their World Cup campaign, with tests in Queensland against Fiji on Friday, May 6 and Japan on Tuesday, May 10. The Wallabies-England series will be crammed full of meaning for both teams, with the scars of the Wallabies 3-0 series loss in 2016 still fresh and having started a run of 8 straight wins for Jones' England over Australia. But England are also desperate for success, after a disappointing Six Nations campaign that has left Jones under huge pressure. The RFU were forced to issue a public statement of support for Jones after calls for the Australian coach to be sacked, but indicated that could change in the future. Wallabies coach Dave Rennie and captain Michael Hooper pose with Wallaroos assistant coach Sin Fukafuka and Shannon Parry. Credit, Getty. Speaking at the end of the Wallabies' three-day camp on the Gold Coast, Rennie again sidestepped questions of head-to-head jousting with Jones in July, but he did pose a question about whether England would make a tactical shift after the Six Nations and 17 months out from the 2023 Rugby World Cup. He's got massive experience. He's the most experienced international coach in the world, isn't he? Rennie said. So he's a smart man, and they're a team that's really well resourced. It'll be interesting to see if they change the way they play, but what they're very good at is trying to dominate the game at the right end of the field and apply pressure through that. Pressed on whether Jones would change the England game, Rennie said, "It is like us, there is not an enormous amount of time to make a difference. I am not sure, maybe they have a plan to play a certain style in the World Cup and this is their chance to launch that. I don't know, we will watch with interest." Wallabies captain Michael Hooper, one of the survivors of the 2016 series, said breaking England's 8-match winning streak would be important given the potential for Australia and England to meet again in the quarterfinals in the 2023 Rugby World Cup. England knocked the Wallabies out in 2019 with a 40-16 win. "It didn't work out well for us last time, we have to change the story and we have a great opportunity here," Hooper said. Dave Rennie and Eddie Jones will go head-to-head in July. Credit, Getty. Hooper was less willing to buy into the idea that England are struggling based on their Six Nations campaign, where they lost 3 tests against Scotland, Ireland and Wales. "Every test match is hard to win and you have to be on," Hooper said. "You make mistakes, the other team can capitalise so well the way things are playing out in test rugby, there are little margins or momentum swings. I'm sure that was the case in all of those Six Nations games. You call them upsets, but I don't think they're upsets anymore." Hooper said he was excited to play on the SCG, and floated a Buddy Franklin-style engagement with fans. "It would be epic, wouldn't it? Can we have everyone change the field like Franklin? That'd be good for a third game, that's the plan, charge the field," he said. "I can't wait. A full house there is going to be epic." 4 of the touring Wallabies at London's Heathrow Airport, from left, John Hipwell, Mark Lone, Ken Wright and Ray Price. Credit, Fairfax Media. The Wallabies last played against England at the SCG in the first test of a 1975 tour, best remembered for the violent second match in Brisbane, which became known as the Battle of Ballamore. The first test at the SCG lit the fuse, however, when the Dave Brockhoff-coached Wallabies and England engaged in running skirmishes. England claimed Australia were retaliating for the fact they had sent an experimental squad for the 8-game tour. One of the stars of Australia's 16-9 win at the SCG was a 22-year-old flanker called Ray Price, who was said to have terrorised the England inside backs. Price had made his debut for Australia the year before and went on